It was a little bit different music, but I just thought that why not take you to a shamanic journey again. So I hope you all are here with me. And thank you, Sumati ji and Kavita ji. Today's session is on self-love. So I think I just thought that I should put a lot of love on myself. So that's why this. So thank you so much. So Mother Garu always looks ravishing, so she doesn't have to do anything for that. So I just thought that I should put something today. So I just wanted to love myself today more. So yeah, thank you, Divya ji. This music is really, really very close to my heart because all the shamanic music that I have, I whenever I meditate, I just go to some different dimension, and that is the reason I wanted to uh, share this music with all of you. So thank you so much. So yes, I hope you all are here with me now. You are back in the groove in the session. And since this is the third day of the session, and for past 2 days, we have understood that why spiritual awakening is important and how a spiritual awakening process is a very natural process. It's a very normal process. It is not something that, only chosen ones go through. It's a natural and normal process, but in order to go through that process, there are certain steps that we need to walk on, and in order to do that, inner work is actually the stepping stone for that. It is basically the door towards the awakening, because unless and until we do the inner work, so the spiritual awakening does not is not at all, it does not happen. So when we talk about the inner work, there are few works that generally we do uh, as far as we are concerned. So number one is the self-love, which seems very, this little word seems very poetic. This little word seems very little. But when we talk about this word, it is a gut-wrenching journey with the self-love, because that is the only problem with all of us, that we are not able to love ourselves. And I'm sure that all of you might be realizing, or you might have realized this in your life as well, that what only one thing that is very difficult in our lives is to love ourselves. Okay, so when we talk about the inner work, so the self-love is going to be there, and then the inner child healing. So these are basically the profound pathways towards the spiritual awakening. These are the pathways towards the inner work. So today we are going to focus more on self-love. And here in this session, not only I will be telling you about my experiences, my information, my knowledge or wisdom about this word, this small word, but Madhugaru is also going to be here, and she's going to tell everything about self-love. So you're going to get so much today about self-love. And trust me, at the end of the session, you're going to get, so much about self-love that you would be able to love yourself more than what you have been doing for so long. So when we talk about self-love, friends, let's define the word self-love first, because it's a very sweet small word. So when we talk about self-love, what is self-love? When we talk about this means that you have to love yourself. Now the question is, how do we do that? How do we love ourselves? So for me, if you ask me my definition of love, self-love, so I would say that for me, self-love means, when I'm forgiving myself completely and thoroughly, when I'm accepting myself with all my flaws and imperfections, not just my beautiful parts, but everything. When I am respecting myself deeply within, when I am taking care of my needs, my aspirations, my dreams, that is for me is the self-love. Because when we start loving ourselves, then only we are capable of loving the other people. And when we start honoring our limitations, when we start listening to our needs, that is the time when the self-love starts. Now the question is that why is it so hard to love ourselves? Why can't we love ourselves? That is the basic question that, always probably it might have haunted you also, all of you. So I'm going to answer this question because this is something that I have, understood as far as my experience goes, that why is it hard? So friends, I think, we as women, I know the society is changing, I know the norms are changing, I know the conditioning, whatever we had, and the thinking process is all changing. But we have come from that society where we were being taught as women also, not especially the women, we were taught that we have to put the other people first, their needs first, their aspirations first, their dreams first, before anything else. We cannot look after ourselves, so we have to take care of the other people. And throughout our lives we are taught different things. We are taught how to read, how to write, how to please the people, how to say thank yous, how to say please, how to say all these words. We are taught everything, but what we are not taught is, what we are not touched, we do not touch, is this dimension of our life, that is the self love. We are not able to, touch that dimension because that dimension does not exist for women. Because we feel that, okay, this dimension does not exist because we have to take care of the other people first, and then, taking care of ourselves comes later. So what happens is, because of this feeling, we stopped creating healthy boundaries in our lives. We did not know when to say yes. We did not know when to say no. We did not know anything about it. What we knew was that, okay, we have to put them first instead of our own selves. So, what happened? Because of all these feelings, we had two values that were being inculcated to us through our parents, through our society, through our everything. One is the self-denial, and the other one is self-sacrifice. Yes, probably today the times are changing, and the women folk are changing, their thoughts are changing, the society is changing, but still there is still a strata of the society who are scared of doing this, who are scared of loving themselves. Now, because of this self-denial, because of this self-sacrifice, what happened? What did these two values give us? These two values gave us psychological pain, emotional pain, which led to what? Depression, bitterness, anger, low self-esteem, and blah blah blah. So many other things that came to us. Whatever ailments, whatever today, especially the uterus issues that ladies have. Why is it that? Or the cancer issues that ladies have is because of what? It is because they do not love themselves. I have that uterus. I had the uterus problem. I had fibroids, which were cancerous in my uterus. Why was it happening? But when I understood this, because of the meditation, because of the angels, because of the books that I read, when I got to know that I have to love myself. Then only I will be able to genuinely love the other people. For example, you cannot quench the thirst of a person if you're giving an empty glass to a person. Can you? So, unless and until you are full from within yourself, if you are full of love from within yourself, how can you love the other person, or how can that person love you back? Because you're not accepting yourself, you're rejecting yourself completely. And that is what the issue today with the women is, that before anybody can reject them, we reject our own selves. No, I'm not looking good. No, I'm not looking beautiful. No, I am fat. No, I am this. And no, I am that. Trust me, I have a freckly body. Okay. I'm telling all of you, I have a freckles in my body throughout. There was a time when I used to not like my body. And there were times when, whenever I used to, if I am wearing a sari, so the blouse, we all know that how the blouses are, they're deep neck. So, my freckles used to be visible. So the ladies used to come to me and say, oh my God, Sharoo, you got so many freckles. How can you wear such, deep neck blouses? at that time, initially, what used to happen, I used to feel very bad about the comments that they used to, make on my appearance. But after that, when I got to realize all these things, I said, no, I love my freckles. It's okay. My body is beautiful. Even if I have freckles, that's okay. Those are mine. And then when that confidence came into me, the second time, whenever, if anybody commented on me, on my forehead, on my body, on my neck, or my anything, I used to just say, yeah, sure, I love my freckles, that's okay. Even if it's visible, why don't you just don't see my freckles? I love my freckles and it's going to be there on my body. I love them. So when this change came, so what happened, the change in the society, the way they started thinking about, they used to think about me, it also changed, because they stopped talking. They stopped throwing those comments on me, because they knew that I love myself. Now the question, one more question that I always have seen in us, in the women today, is that we are very scared of self-love, because we always feel that, oh my God, self-love is selfishness. Because we always, feel that if we start loving ourselves, that means we are selfish. That is all, period. But trust me, yes, there is a thin line between self-love and selfishness. There is a thin line. But are we ready to understand what is selfishness and what is self-love? Because we have already labeled self-love as selfishness. This is what we all women have done. And why are we scared of doing, getting into self-love? I'll give you the answer also to that question, because I've seen myself also doing it, and I've seen women doing it. What happens is, we women, uh, probably there is a segment of the women who are working today, and but they were, there are, again, I said that, as I said, that there is a segment of the society, segment of the women who are not working, who are sitting at home. So they are, what they want to do is, they want to have a very comfortable life. They want to have a very stable life. They want to have a very secure life. Okay, and this can only happen when if they do not flout the laws of the society. And what happens is, when we start loving ourselves, we become social heretic. Why? Because we are going against the society. Why we are going against the society? Because when we start loving ourselves, we try to challenge people to reconsider their choices. Because we are doing self-love, so because of us, people feel challenged that, oh my God, she's doing this. Am I supposed to do this? Or am I doing something wrong? And when this challenge happens, what the society says is, okay, this lady, this woman has to get out of this society. She has to get out of this circle. She is not supposed to be here. She does not fit into this society, because she is a social heretic and we have to boycott her. And now what happens is, if this is the case that happens, then women, we get scared, because now we are not in a comfortable position. Now our life is very shaky, because our friends are moving out. We are becoming lonely. And that is what actually pinches us when we become lonely. That how can we become lonely? Loneliness is something, it is like a disease nowadays, because it really eats all the women up today. And we are so shit scared about this thing, that what if we become lonely, what will happen to us? If there's nobody to take care of us, there is no society, there's nobody, what will I do? So trust me, if today, if we start loving ourselves truly and unconditionally in this era, it is, for me, it is a breathtaking accomplishment. Frankly speaking, if we start loving ourselves. Now, I'll just give you a few tips of self-love, what I have done, and then I will, tell Madhu Garu to jump in and to share her views on self-love. So what I have done in my life, first is, what I can tell you is, learn to say no, that is not true. I repeat, learn to say not just no, that is not true. Now, if somebody comes to you and tells you, oh my God, you have such unkempt hair, Sharoo. How can you just go out for a meeting, or how can you just go out like that? Now, the question is, you have to ask yourself, Sharoo, what do you think about it? Is that person, whatever the person is saying, is right or not? And then you have to ask yourself this question, and you will get the answer. So these are basically, I'm just sharing you the techniques that I use whenever I get stuck as far as these practices are concerned, because these are the things that help you discover what is the truth about you. So there are two aspects to it. If you're asking yourself that, Sharoo, or okay, I'll give you another example. Somebody tells me, Sharoo, you're very selfish. Okay. Now you have to ask yourself, Sharoo, are you selfish? Now start, because what happens is that whatever the other person is telling you, sometimes he or she becomes a mirror to you also. Maybe you are being selfish, or maybe you are hurting somebody. So you have to ask yourself, Sharoo, are you selfish? Then you sit with that thought and you start thinking about what you have done. If you think, that you have not hurt anybody, you have not done anything, that means you're not selfish and you come out of it. But if you think that you have done something wrong, and if there is something that you need to work on, then you start working on, and that is inner work. So self-love is not just about loving yourself. Self-love is accepting your ugly parts as well, accepting everything that is there inside of you, be it, you're angry, your anger, your hatred, your ugly parts, everything that is ugly, which you have just snubbed it in your subconscious level. That is the inner work. If you feel you're ugly, then you see what you can do about it. Is it internally that you're ugly, or externally you're ugly? And if you're not ugly, then get up. You don't have to sit down. Just get up and go for a meeting, even if the person is saying you have an unkempt hair. So that confidence you have to bring into yourself. If today somebody says that, Sharoo, you have a very broad forehead, oh my God, I say, yeah, I have. So what? So if people used to comment on my appearance, now it doesn't make a difference to me. If I'm wearing something, if somebody used to say that, there was time when I had reduced a lot of weight because of my ailments, so people used to say, oh my God, Sharoo, you look like a hanger. So I used to say, oh wow, do I? My God. So I'll work on myself. So I used to say like that. And then I used to work on myself, that, okay, I used to see myself in the mirror, and I used to see that, okay, Sharoo, you have to work on yourself, because you actually, you have lost on a lot of weight. So you have to take all the criticism that is coming from the other person also in a healthy way. But don't take things, everything should not be taken personally as far as the self-love is concerned. You're not supposed to take everything personally. The next thing is, be your best friend. That is self-love. You are your best friend. Absolutely. There's nobody, who understands you better than you. No one. Not your mother, not your husband, not your sons, not your daughters, not anyone. Friends to dur ki baat. Nobody understands you more than you do. You know your flaws, you know your qualities, you know everything that is good, that is bad inside of you, and you have the capability and the power to transform yourself. Nobody else has that power. So change the way you perceive yourself, and don't let the perceptions of the other people change your self-perception. If there is, the only thing that I have seen as far as self-love is concerned, what we feel is that, we are very scared of being self critical. There's always a critic inside of us. There's always somebody who's judging us, that is inside of us. So that person always keeps on judging us and, criticizing us. That if Sharoo is there, then Sharoo will be critical. So we have to come out of that judgmental mode for our own selves. So if you start feeling that you are negatively scrutinizing yourself, then stop yourself there and then please do not scrutinize me. You have to do a lot of self talking. Trust me, self love is equivalent to self talk. That's all. Keep talking to yourself no matter what, and keep talking and keep transforming yourself. So this is what I wanted to say as far as the self love is concerned. So I am going to invite Madhugaru for this, and she is going to share her experiences with all of us and her inputs as far as self love is concerned. So please, I welcome Madhugaru here. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yes.
Thank you, Sharoo. I think, Sharoo, you have covered it all. So, hello, friends. I'm going to share few stories here because I like to say some stories. So the first thing is, as Sharu mentioned, that people get confused with self-love and being selfish. Like they think that, oh, if I love myself, that means I'm selfish. How can I take care of myself? Because I've been brought up in such a manner that I have to take care of others. I've seen my mom growing like that. I've seen my grandmoms doing the same. So we follow the same pattern. So I'll tell you one example what happened. It happened in Egypt when we were living in Egypt. We had Patri sir visiting us, and at that time we were around 20 people at home. There were a group came from India. So we finished cooking and we started serving, and everybody ate. And at the end, I did not eat, and there was no food. And Patricia asked me, "Did you eat your food?" I said no. Then he scolded at me at saying that, "Do you think that you are a great?" Like we think that sacrificing is great. Like sacrificing, being like sacrificing for our loved ones is great. But have you ever questioned yourself that how are you treating yourself? Are you really taking care of yourself? So that time I realized that, oh my God, what is that I'm doing? Like I have to really take care of myself. If I'm hungry, I controlled my hunger. I stopped my hunger. It's just because I wanted to serve others. But instead, I can have a choice. If I'm hungry, I can take a small bite. There is nothing wrong in that. So that time I realized that yes, it is not selfish. It's taking care of ourselves is very important. And the second thing is like say no whenever it is a must. Say no, and say no in a compassionate manner. Don't say no because just you know something more than that person, or don't say no just because like just say no with a compassionate way, saying that. And after you finish that no, saying no, don't carry that energy. Change into something, like a change as if this episode has finished and a new episode start your new episode. So when you do that, you don't take too much whatever the others are saying. And first of all, we should not take it. The more you take it, the more the baggage becomes. Why we have to get influenced by others saying what we are? As Sharu mentioned, nobody in this whole world knows about us. Only we ourselves know about our own self. Nobody in the world knows about us. So trust it, friends, that whenever somebody is saying something to you, put a borderline. Say, this is no, I'm happy, thank you so much, thank you for your concern, but no. And then say it in a polite way that like that they don't get offended, and at the same time you are treating yourself well, that you are conveying yourself well. So that's one thing. And the other thing is like, do not judge yourself. For this, I would like to share one story about this little boy called Little John. I always tell this story. So this boy, little John, used to go to school every day, and his clothes are torn, and he wears his shoes are not polished, and like he has unkempt hair and all these things. So the class teacher of little John, whenever she comes to the class, she says to all the kids, "I love you." But she knows that somewhere in her heart, she knows that she doesn't like this boy who is sitting in the last bench, that little John, because he's all shabby, he's not studying well and all these things. So the year is about to finish, the school year is about to finish, and the teacher has to give a progress report of the child. So the teacher writes the progress reports about little John, saying that little John is like this, he's wearing all the shabby clothes, he's not well, he's not studying, all the wrong, like not good things she puts in that progress report. In that school, the culture is that before going to the parents, the progress report goes to the parents. First, it goes to the principal. The principal will review the progress report, and afterwards, the principal will send it to the parents. So when the principal gets to see that little John's progress report, he calls the teacher, the class teacher, into the office room and asks, "See, a progress report should be always mentioning about the progress of the child." So then the principal asks the one who helps her in the office room, to bring the previous progress reports of little John. So when they get the progress reports of little John, the first progress report says that little John's mother is going through some health issues. So the second progress report says that little John's father is very much occupied because little John's mom got admitted in the hospital. And the third progress report says that like little John's mom passed over, and his father is in depression and all these things. So when the teacher goes through all those things, she understood what she had done. Like she started judging that boy without knowing the background of that boy for what he is now. So, friends, I'm telling you, never judge a person without knowing his or her background. That person includes you as well. You also, that person. Everybody has a little John inside us. So, it is very important how we treat ourselves. Are we judging ourselves? Are we complaining about ourselves? We are the best friend of our own selves. We have to treat. We are our lovers. We are our best friends. Why we expect others to love us if we don't love ourselves? Always remember that, friends. First of all, we have to give 100% to our own selves. Then only we can give the rest to the others. As Sharoo says, how can you give an empty glass to somebody else? If you have a heart full of love, then you can share. If you are poor, how can you help the others? It is quite impossible. So just take care of yourself. Do not judge yourself, and treat yourself well. And do not fall into the trap that you have to satisfy others so that you create a facade, nice facade. Because I also fell in that trap. When before I coming into meditation, I was in the trap that maybe beautifying myself will be nice so that others will approve of me. That in that way my ego gets satisfied and I love myself more. If somebody comes and says to me that, "Madhu, you look so beautiful because you have a nice hair, or like you had a nice makeup, or you carry a nice bag." So then I questioned myself later after coming into meditation. I questioned myself. I was just like faking myself to do all those things just to satisfy others, because I want to fit into the box. I don't want to be separate of them. That's why, to fit into the box, I was just satisfying others. But when I understood the real beauty is inside me, I stopped caring of all these things. I stopped caring about the makeup and all this. It doesn't mean that I don't take care of my body. There is a huge difference. I do take care of my body, but not for others, but for my own self. So when you realize your inner beauty, that is the real inner work. Like when you recognize that you are beautiful from inside, you love yourself from inside, then automatically the outer beauty starts to reflect. It's like a mirror. When the inside is corrected, outside all automatically gets corrected. So, and also, friends, I was very conscious about my smile. I was really not liking my smile at all. I used to feel that I was not having a good smile. And whenever somebody is asking me to for my photograph, I used to feel very uncomfortable and anxious because somewhere inside me, I have rejected that part that my smile is not beautiful. I said to myself that my smile is not beautiful. So instead, after coming into meditation, what I did is, yes, my smile is not beautiful. So what can I do to make it beautiful? The work I have to do. Yes, surely I have to spend some time with myself to make it beautiful. If I want to have a beautiful body, then I have to go to the gym, or I have to do yoga, or I have to do some exercises. Without doing these exercises, how can I expect that my will be coming into a good shape? So the same thing, the exercises are very important. So the exercise I did is that time I went in front of the mirror every day. I went in front of the mirror. I gave an eye contact to my own self, and I said to myself, I really love you. I really love you. And each time I said that words, I could see that the smile which is from inside it is coming out. And now I love my smile so much, and I always keep smiling. I always keep smiling. And if somebody says to me or not, I keep smiling. So we should always think about ourselves, friends, not others. First of all, we have to put ourselves as a priority. If we don't put ourselves as a priority, then nobody can help us. And in this movie called The Shift, which is written, which is it's a nice documentary movie of Wayne Dyer. In that, about the woman, the shift of the woman, the quantum shift of the woman, it's mentioned very nicely. So we women ignore ourselves. We always put ourselves in the back. But but if you have a beautiful car, if you have everything, the soul, everything beautiful soul, why do you have to give your controls to somebody else? You know the driving. It's just that you are scared to drive. Now they take the charge. Now you take the charge and you say that now, come what may, today from today, I decide that I will drive my own car. So when you say that to yourself, friends, nobody in the world can come and help you except you. You only can help yourself. So remember these points, and remember whatever Sharu had shared, because this is very important. Not only women, I'm telling you, men also. Men think that, okay, maybe they think that they're very strong, and they should not be expressive. They should not, it's the pattern for them is like their job is only to go to office, bring some money, and that's it. That's finished. How are you taking care of yourself? Are you spending good time with yourself? For the men, also ask yourself, are you taking enough rest? Are you going out and playing some sports? Are you just going out in the nature and taking some fresh air? So question yourself, friends. It is very important, not only for the women. Women, we are inside. For the men as well. You go out, spend a lot of time outside. You spend a lot of energy outside. At the same time, how are you taking care of yourself? Being around with friends, that doesn't mean that you are loving yourself. Being with yourself, spending some time with yourself is really self love. And each day communicating with yourself, talking with yourself is self love, either a man or a woman. We have to do that. If we don't do that, we cannot expect my friend to come and sit next to me and talk to me. Because if my friend comes and talks, sits next to me and talk to me, I won't be paying attention. The more I listen to myself, the more I have a capacity to listen to others. I become open to listen to others. If I don't listen to myself, I will never listen to others. So it is, these are the things very important, friends. And at the end, I would also share one beautiful story. Sharu, if you allow me. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, please.
okay. This story is about the temple renovation, and I like telling stories. And temple renovation is about, how. Um, okay. This story goes like, there is a king in China, like he has a old temple in outside the kingdom, and it is very old temple. Now he wants to renovate the temple. So he sends out the ministers to check who will be the right person to renovate the temple. So they find two kinds of people. The one are the monks. The second people are the like artisans. So they come and they both said to the king that we will do our best to make the temple beautiful. So now the king is in dilemma to whom the temple has to be given. So the king gets an idea that there are other two temples that needs to be renovated. So each sect will be given a temple so that they will work on, and whoever satisfies the king, then they will be able to work on the big temple, the other temple, the main temple. So they will be provided all the material, every material is provided to them, and they started working, and at the end they finished their work. So the king goes to the artisan's temple. First he visits the artisan temple, and the king sees, wow, it is so colorful, it is so bright colors, everything is new, polished, and everything is brand new. They have made the temple as if it's very new. The king feels very happy. My goodness, this much of artwork that these artisans have given. So the king was sure that these people will be the ones who will be working on the main temple. Then, since it is again we have to go to the monks' temple, let's go and see the monks' temple. The king and the minister decides. So they go to see the monks' temple. When they go to see monks' temple, they'll be really surprised to see the view that the monks did not do any work. What they did is, instead of adding more color to the temple, they have just removed whatever is unnecessary. All the years the temple had stayed dormant. So what they did is they cleaned all the with meticulous detail. They have cleaned all the temple. So the real colors of the temple came out. So they did not added anything extra. They have polished the furniture. They have kept the old furniture. They polished everything. They have opened the windows and the doors so that the air, the breeze was flowing very nicely into the temple. And as if the trees and the air, everything became a part of the temple. So here the story can be taken as it is. When we go closer into the story, whereas what the artisans did is they added extra, like extra to the work, like for the temple, they have put so much color, they have brought new furniture and everything. So in their thing, it is about their work. They want to get focused. Whereas the monks, for them, it is more of the temple than themselves. So here, friends, why I am saying this is because we don't have to go for the how we are presenting ourselves outside. We have to always go to the soul. The soul is the monk's temple, what they have done. So, like we have to clean all the things meticulously. We should not cover it. We should not say, no, 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 this is not me. Like you should never say that this is not me. I reject myself or I'm like this. No. Sit with yourself. What is that part which you don't like in yourself? Sit with yourself, make peace with it, and ask it what it is conveying you. What is that it is telling you? So when you do that, friends, I'm sure that your temple will be so beautiful. The temple which is inside, which will be very beautiful. We have to really take care of ourselves, friends. So this is about self-love, and I love myself, and I love you all. And please love yourself, and that's it. Thank you, Sharo.
Yeah, thank you so, so very much for your beautiful, beautiful stories. You always come up with beautiful stories and which really touch the heart of so many people. And I'm really, really thankful that you came here to give all your inputs to the people, all of us, our family, and you are giving these inputs to the family. I hope people who are not able to understand self love to an extent, at least something that they have understood today, because self love is a topic which can go on and on and on, and we cannot just capsulate it in just half an hour or 45 minutes. But yeah, it will continue tomorrow. One more thing I want to say, as Madhugaru said about the men. So have you ever considered that why most of the men they die of heart attack? Most of the men, you might have seen also that most of the heart issues, they have high blood pressure issues. It is all because when the joy in their life has completely gone off and they are not loving themselves. So as she said that men are also, yeah, they are very stoic with their approach towards life, because they feel that okay, we are the ones, we are the whole soul, and we are only here to take care of the finances and home, and that's all. So they, what they do is they try to ignore themselves also. So when you are doing also as women, as wives, as mothers, if we are there, we also have to hold the hand of your spouses, of our spouses also, and sit with them and talk to them. But it can only happen when we have come out of this, when we have started loving ourselves. Then only will you be able to sit with your children, with your husband, with your spouses, and you can talk to them, and then you can just be on this path together. So the main reason of these sessions, whatever we conduct, it's not about that we just need to give you the information, whatever we have, we just need to give the experience. It is just about that whatever we have gone through, at least you should not be going through that. And you are getting a guidance so that you stop there and then and start implementing these things, so that you don't go through that pain and suffering that we have gone through at some point of time. So that is why this experience sharing keeps happening. That is why these topics keep coming. So yeah, thank you so much, Madhugaru, and thank you everybody. So there was, I think, a question here. I just need to read the question. What about the mothers? Anuradha ji said, then what about the mothers who need to sacrifice so many of their comforts to take care of their kids? Okay, so first of all, Anuradha ji, it all depends upon us. How are we seeing this as? Is it a sacrifice that we are making, or are we doing it out of love? So that question you need to ask yourself. It is, if it is about love, it is, if you are sacrificing something because of the love, then that is absolutely fine. For example, today, I'll tell you one simple short thing, because I have been a past life, I'm a past life regressionist also, because it creates a karma also. Now, if suppose your husband is there and you are there, and you are financing the college fees of your child. Now your husband says that, or you say to your children, your kids, that I am giving this to you because so that when you start doing the job, you pay me this back, because this is the expectation that you have from the children, that today, if I'm putting in money in the in the education of my children, that tomorrow they are going to give that money back to me once they start earning. So this is not out of love that is coming, so it creates a karma. It starts the karmic cycle also. But if it is coming from love, where there are no expectations, you are just doing it because you are the parents, because you are the mother, you are the father of that person, you're the creator of that little baby who you see as your child, then nothing happens. It's just love. So there is no sacrifice at that time. You cannot categorize that. But then if you're categorizing it, if you are saying that it is does it come into a category of a sacrifice, then you have to ask yourself, is it a sacrifice coming from some hidden agenda, or from love? So that is what I feel, Anuradha ji. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, so thank you, Anuradha ji. So, okay, if there is anybody who wants to share the experience, because tomorrow again it is going to continue, and tomorrow I would request everybody here to to at least speak something on self love, because tomorrow we are going to do a little bit of mirror work also. So there will be a mirror work that is going to be there. I'm going to share something with you, and if Madhugaru has to share something, she is again going to share something tomorrow again. So we both are going to be here with you, all of you. And I would request all of you to just jot down certain questions that today come to you once you finish this session. Both. I mean, when you sit quietly today, just ask yourself certain questions. Do I love myself? And then you have to be very honest with yourself. Trust me, there is nobody who's going to judge you here. Be very honest with yourself. Just ask this question: do I love myself? And please come with this answer tomorrow, and give an honest opinion about everything what you have written about yourself. That do you love yourself? Don't think that you have to please me or Madhugaru or anybody whosoever is there as a participant. You don't have to please anybody. Right now it is the inner work that we are trying to do. So we just want that, you should come with that kind of a feeling that you have to be honest, because inner work is equal to honesty with yourself. If you're not honest, you will not be able to do any inner work. Trust me on that. Yeah. So tomorrow when we are coming back, because tomorrow is going to be very interactive, when we come back tomorrow with the session, it is going to be that I would love to hear that what you have written. Do you love yourself? So you have to ask this question and write it down, few lines, few sentences, and then come back with this answer tomorrow. And if there is anybody who wants to share anything with all of us, you're all welcome. This is your platform. Please do come up and share.
Sharoo, recently, my son was renovating his flat completely, right? And he was going into his building. So I said, no, I will also contribute for certain things. And he said, no, mom, you need the money. I said, look, I want to do it. I'm not expecting you to return or anything. I just want to do it for you. Okay? After all, it is money. It doesn't, and that it not because it made me feel good, but from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to do it. This, it's not a sacrifice for me. So, how do you? This is not self-love either, is it?
No, it is just love. It is love for your child that you did, Mantiji. So it is just for your the only thing is that you have to ask this question: did I have any hidden agenda? And then you will get your answer, because self-love is nothing but self-talk.
Okay.
So you will get your answer. I will not be able to, I'm not in a position to ask, give this answer to you. So you have to ask Malati, did you have any hidden agenda in that when you were, doing this? And you have to be very honest with yourself.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There was no hidden agenda at all.
Yeah, but sometimes it happens, Malti ji. That's what we say, that sometimes whatever we see, it is not true. So we have to go deep within, because sometimes it happens that we always are wearing a mask on our faces, and it becomes very difficult to take out that mask from us. So when we do any kind of an inner work, we have to take out that mask.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have to be very natural who we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Malti ji. Thank you so much.
I would like to add on this. Hello.
Yes. We all can hear you. Yes.
We are actually, as you said, that we are being conditioned right from our childhood. We have
Yes.
seen our parents do that monetary support. Our father is doing, and mother is cooking, and she is doing all the work. Even whenever I am talking about my mother, whenever she used to eat, uh, this, uh, we used to she used to make us eat, and even her food we used to eat that she used to give it so lovingly to us. And um, she used to sacrifice her food also to us. But after that I came to know that she was sacrificing this all. Is it the self love, or is it sacrifice? But what is the difference between the
This
two?
is not self-love. This is not, absolutely, this is not self-love, but she is like a mother. She is so much imbued in that love energy that she, because of the love, because of that feeling of love that she had for you, she just gave the food to the children, because she thought that, okay, if I part with my food and give it to my children, they will be much more satisfied. So this is what the sacrificial nature of ours is. It is like, we feel the pain, we feel the emotions, we feel, we are more compassionate beings. As far as the women are concerned, we are more compassionate. So it is all because of the compassion, it is all because of the love, that mother had, your mother had towards you at that very time. So we also do the same thing, if we are eating something, and if our child wants something, so we will give half of that portion to the child, that okay, you eat, because we feel happy. But if we are not feeling happy, and from inside we are saying, oh my god, why did he take one of my my cakes or my pastries, and I wanted that, that is something that that is not coming out of love. And this is not self love either, that is selfishness. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yes, Lakshmi ji.
Uh, Hello, everyone. And two beautiful and gorgeous ladies I heard. And I don't know, I just love to hear you, Charuji.
Thank you,
Um,
Lakshmi ji, thank you.
it's going to be a lot of cuts for me.
Lakshmi ji, we all are here with you, so just let it go, just release it.
You are a very wonderful child. As you grow, you imbibe so many rights and wrongs in your life. You keep on adding those, qualities which are very good. Always good, you have to be always good. I'm not saying that my parents were wrong. I come from a very, dignified family, which has got a, heavy qualities, which you expect. As even today, I am a parent. I expect my child to have those. And I have always been good, because I know that I always been good in whatever I have done. Maybe a home, household work. I'm a doctor. I'm a good artist. I'm a good gardener. So many qualities I do have. But, it is only exhibited when people said yes to it. Okay. And the liberty of, exhibiting your qualities, it needs that freedom. It is only when you have that freedom of saying today no. That's because I wanted this story to be out, because this is my entire long 12 to 13 years which has built up, and it's very recently 3 years back this inner work has started, and where I have learned with a very very hard way to say no. It's a very very biggest achievement I can give it to myself. And they're all your own people. The biggest problem what we have is to when we say no to other people, it is not someone other, it is someone your own people, maybe your parents, you know When I moved from one state to another city, the culture is so different. The culture is so different. When in my hometown, the culture, what I learned was different. When I come to, after you're married, you come to the another culture. Everywhere you said, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. I never understood, I was so confused. Even if I pray to God this way, I'm wrong. If I pray to this way, it's wrong. I never felt I was, belonging to someone, neither of the group, neither in that state, neither in this state, neither among my friends. Okay, because a lot of, when I was doing my post graduation, I had a lot of family responsibilities, so I could never make a friend around, because so much of time is spent in, and that time initially it was very much, out of love I did it. Okay, initially it was like, only one thing I could remember, what my father, while making my marriage, he said, you should be like a water. A girl should be like a water, fitting in every possible vessel, and maybe whatever the color the family would. It was very nice to say, as a parent, it was really good thought. I started, actually I did it. I did it long years, maybe a 10 long years, everything, yeah. If I now look back, I am really, like, I feel, what was it, stupidness of mine. But in due process, I lost all my those, qualities, which I felt good about what I had it. My, even to an extent wherein I never knew what I like. If somebody would ask, what is that you want to eat, I said everything is okay for me. What is the color you like, I said anything is okay for everything, because that later reflected as if I don't have any interest in my life. I never felt to look at any colors. I never felt I need to do this, or I dislike this. I never felt later to tell it to my own family members. So what happened is, it piled up. It so much piled that it started reflecting after I had my child. After I had child, that was only where I could reflect my, maybe the frustration or anger, and then that's where my embark on, looking within started. Yeah,
Mm.
books came on my way, and one book I would like to mention is Louis Hay book,
Mm.
How to Heal Yourself. And meditation, yeah, definitely last year. And I don't know, people, label you, even if you're working, you're a bad mother. Okay, even if you're a good wife, they will always say, okay, you are not giving time to your family or your people around. But what today I really feel, even if you are at home, at work, at with your parents or with your children, what I feel is that real love, what I am been hearing from these two gorgeous ladies, is that something which we should really look. And at early age, I feel at the more earlier age, the better you become. You really become more beautiful. So as I see this journey of myself, I was beautiful. I rotted, and today again I'm back with that little bit of strength every day. Every day it is still on that process. But yeah, the biggest achievement I could do is that, okay, enough. Thank you, Sharuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi ji. Kudos to you, and kudos to the inner work that you have been doing. And this is for all the people who are listening here, all the members of this family who are listening here. You can see how, when I said the self love is a gut wrenching process, it is actually this, because it is not easy. It is not an easy job at all. And when we are awakening to ourselves, when we are awakening to our souls, when we are connecting to our souls, when we are becoming our natural self, that is the time when this thing will keep coming and happening. We will just be toned down, we'll be broken down, we'll be toned to ashes, and then we'll again rise up like a phoenix. And that's what Lakshmi is doing. So she has toned herself down 1,000 times, and she again builds herself up, and again rises, and then she again will go down, then she will again rise up. This is what the awakening process is. So Lakshmiji, I'm so glad that you shared your experience, because it is very inspirational, and I'm sure all the people who are listening to Lakshmiji and today, they have got a little push. They have understood when I was saying that it is an eternal process. It is a process that is very painful sometimes, but we have to go on. We can't, don't have to stop here, because this is what the inner work is. Then tomorrow or day after tomorrow, when we are going to do inner child healing, when we are going to do mirror work, there's so much of pain that is going to come out of you. When you will do it again at home, there's so much of pain that is going to come out of you. That is inner work, and you don't have to stop because of the pain. As Lakshmi ji said, that she did not stop. She was beautiful, then she rotted. She was not able to understand what was happening, and then she came back again. Now she's discovering herself again, she's building herself again, and she's coming back again. So this is what self love is. This is what inner work is. This is what we all have to do. So thank you, Lakshmi ji, thank you so much. Lot of love to you, and everybody here loves you. Madhugaru, if you want to say a few words to Lakshmi ji.
Uh, Lakshmi ji, the strength that you showed today in coming up and sharing this is not an easy thing. It's very, very much grateful to you, because many a woman won't come, they feel shy to express what they went through. And you coming up and sharing this is really inspiring all of them to be truthful to themselves. Yes, we went on that path, but now I want to change my path. I have seen a new path. I want to go towards this path. I want to see the light. All this while I stayed in darkness. I was neglecting myself. But now is the time that I take care of myself. We take initiative for our own self. And I'm very happy that you took initiative for your own self, Lakshmi Garu. It's never too late. It's never too late. It is like like it's a new journey. I'm sure you will really enjoy it, and you will heal all the wounds that is there in your heart. That like right from today, start expressing whatever you feel. Like whatever you like, say it. Talk to the plants, talk to the nature, be in the nature. As you're a gardener, you like gardening. The plants, go to the plants and sit with the plants and talk to them. Those, they love you so much. Their love towards you is unconditional. Talk to them. That is a huge release. We don't want any other person to satisfy us. We have the entire nature, entire cosmos. We have the stars to talk to. We have everything in the nature to talk to. The more we speak, the more we express ourselves, there is a release that is going to happen. And I'm really happy that you came up and you shared your journey today, and very much grateful to you. It's like, like a mother who is going through a lot of labor. She's going through a lot of labor. After this labor pain, she sees a beautiful child in her hand, and she says, wow, for whatever I have gone through, this is the fruit and this is the little one. Look at that innocence. So you will experience that. We all will experience that. Pain will be always there. As Sharoo shared yesterday about the caterpillar to the butterfly, it undergoes a lot of things. It underwent a lot of things, and at the end, we come as a butterfly. We have to come. There is no other way. Like we cannot skip. We have to come to that way. We all have to become butterflies. Everybody takes their own time. Everybody goes through their own karma and all these things. But at one time, we have to put a halt and we have to reflect upon. And this is the time for each one of us to reflect. And I'm very happy that you shared your journey, Lakshmi Garu. So much grateful to you. Very brave of
Thank you,
you.
Mataji.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Sarojay. The kind of pain what I have been going through, I don't wish anyone to go through. If they're really going through, please, they should have the strength to identify. That's the only reason why I could, build up my guts to, put in words, actually. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lakshmiji. Thank you so, so very much. So, friends, if there is anybody who
Madhu,
wants to say,
yes. Madhumita, yes.
okay.
Yes, Madhu.
Good evening. Do we have time?
Yes, yes, we have all the time for you and for everybody here.
Okay, so I wanted to share my journey. So I I try to express myself as honestly as possible. So I, as a girl in a society, I went through certain kinds of abuse, which led to made me very feel very disgusted about my body, made me very fearful and shameful. So during my journey I had to face through a lot of fear, and also the hate which I had for my body. It created such vibrations that in my school everybody used to publicly shame me, the teachers mainly. So while going through such things, I learned a lot of knowledge because of only and only because of meditation. Meditation gave me that strength to face myself, to face my fears. It started with the mirror work. It did a lot of wonders in my life. So I couldn't even look myself in the mirror, even if I saw my uh, reflection in a window. I used to just avoid seeing myself. I used to hate myself that much. But meditate through meditation only I got the courage to face myself, to face what I had undergo. There's this thing called why me. Why did this happen to me? So I could overcome that, and I could face myself. And uh, you know I even though I had to face those people who did those things to me, meditation gave me that courage to accept my fears, to accept myself, and to even forgive them. It gave me such divine knowledge that if someone gives you suffering, they got that suffering from someone else also. That's not their true self. They are doing that those things to you because they have forgotten their true divine selves. That's why they are making you also suffer. I got the courage to understand that knowledge. I um i don't i don't know where I would have been if I didn't have meditation in my life. I would have been in that low vibrations, in that low state, in feeling like I'm drowning. But now I can look in the mirror. I could say, I love you to myself. I have the courage to love myself and love others. It was only possible through meditation, I could say. So yes, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful for you know having that divine grace in my life. Yes, thank you.
Wonderful, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful you are inside out. And we all love you, Madhu. We all love you so, so, so very much. And you don't know what you have done. I remember when I went to Orissa, I went for a session. There was a girl just like you. Her mother was sitting with me, and she then later on, when the session had, finished, she shared with me the same thing that her daughter had gone through, and that too through the relatives. So she was being molested, time and again. And the girl, she was not able to come out of it because she could not study, she could not do anything, and it was so difficult for her to come out of it. And it became, it was like a project for me, because then it took her about, you can say, an year to come out of it. you know
Yes,
but for you, you were like, you were like a light to everybody. And at that time, probably had she been with you, probably you would have showed that light to her. But yeah, I was there, but I was not there so much. But for 1 year I worked with her, but it was still difficult. It was so difficult. I'm glad that you were able to come out of it. She was not able to come out of it for 1 year. We had to work together, but still, if I talk to her today, still those remnants are there inside of her. But I'm glad that you are so much worked on yourself, and you are come out of it so beautifully, and you're such a beautiful soul, Madhumita, and you are such an inspiration. Isn't that, Madhugaru?
I love her when I've seen her for the first time, Sharu. It's a few months, I think a few months back, I've seen her. And the moment I saw her, I felt a divine. I always say her, she's like a little Mata Sita. She has that beautiful energy that like she pacifies everybody, like she gives that comfort to everybody whenever she's speaking. And I'm really happy, Madhu, that you came this way, and you are a greatest inspiration to the youth. Not only to the youth, for everybody. So there are so many young people who are going through a lot of pains. They don't know whom to express, they don't know the way out. Now your message, you have to take sessions for the youth to inspire them. There are so many parents seeking for help. They don't know how to help their child, because it's gone, because they could have helped them right from their childhood, but they could not do it because of their own issues. So your experiences will inspire them to come out, and I'm really, really happy. And I'm sure in the coming days we will plan session for the youth, wherein young people will come up and share themselves freely with you, and you will be an inspiration to them. You will be guiding them, because if you are guiding us, because you don't know what you're doing us. Each and every word that you're giving to us is bringing so much of like joy and happiness to our hearts. So trust in whatever you're doing. Never doubt yourself. You are an amazing, amazing, amazing soul I've met. I'm really glad that our paths crossed, and we have found each other. So thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for coming into our lives.
I'm also very grateful for this platform. I don't really express this experience of mine in a lot of places, but today I felt the need to express it. It takes a lot of courage for me to do that. And like Madhu ma'am said, my parents also tried to support me in the best possible manner, but they were undergoing through their own stress, and they didn't know how to comfort me because we didn't have meditation at that time. But because my mother introduced me to meditation, I have an outlet today to heal myself, to to I now I don't even have any blame or regrets or uh, guilt or fear. Even today I see that person, and I don't feel any fear while looking at that person. That's what I understood. That's it's meditation takes you to the ultimate divine level. I crossed my body. I understand that I am a soul. Whatever that happens to this body is it you don't have to even consider it. You are the one holding it. Once I release that burden from within me, it's released, it's gone. That I got to understand that, and I'm very thankful to meet all of you as well, to
Wow.
get that love from everyone. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I think there's a lot of love that is pouring right now to you. And I think, Madhumita, you've been taking the classes for awakened youths also, because I saw you there somewhere. Did you?
I just share my experience.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So she's been taking classes for the youths, and I'm really very
No,
glad
no,
that she
I
is.
it was a very little bit. I didn't take a
Okay,
session there, but yeah.
okay.
We will make
But
it. We will make
yeah,
it happen. We'll
yeah.
make a program, 5-day program for the young people to come up, and like we did here, like Sharoo came up and shared. Like Madhu, you also. Everybody have to come and share their whatever they want to share, because we should not stop ourselves. We should express ourselves. So the more we express ourselves, we know our strengths. So we will. I'm already working towards it, Madhu. Like it is already. I'm working towards it. Let's manifest it. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
Madhu. Thank you, Madhu. Thank you so much. Lot of love is pouring right
Have
now. Seriously, I'm telling you, lot of love from all the ends, all the directions, and all the angels are giving you so much of love, and everybody here also, whosoever is listening to you, they are giving you loads and loads of love. Trust me. So
thank you.
thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. And Pavni Garu is also very fortunate to have such a daughter, a beautiful daughter like you, and you are also fortunate to have a mother like Pavni Garu. So yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Madhumita, you're a beautiful, beautiful soul. You know,
Thank you, ma'am.
and a lot of what you were saying brought a lot of memories for me as well. I've gone through all that myself. So, but you're a wonderful, wonderful person. And I admire you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
See, you are not only a star of the youths, you are the star of every generation, every person. See, you have become a star.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you're loved.
It takes
You're loved.
Thank you so much.
a lot of guts to say this. It takes a lot of guts to say.
Yes, of
Lot
course
of
it
guts.
does.
Lots of
Of
guts.
course, of course it
I,
Beautiful.
does.
oh, I expressed only because meditation gave me that strength, or I couldn't imagine otherwise. Yes,
Beautiful, beautiful.
yes. Thank you so much.
Because all females, we are females, and we are somewhere or there. There is some part that is there is molestation or some eve teasing or going around. So you have come up with this. You don't know. You are an inspiration. You are really really a good good. Keep it up. We are very
Thank
proud of you.
So that is what the inner work is all about. So this is how we have to do the inner work, like Madhumita did, or like everybody over here whosoever is listening is doing, and they keep doing. So tomorrow when we meet, we are going to come with the question whether you love yourself, and if you don't love yourself, what are the parts that you don't love yourself? What are the things that you don't love yourself? Why do you not love yourself? And if you love yourself, what is the thing that you love yourself about? So we are going to discuss everything tomorrow. So before we end up the session, if there is anybody who wants to say anything, then we'll call the day off. So is there anything anybody wants to say? So I guess
Mine will be a long story tomorrow.
okay. So Malati ji, but you have to
I,
shorten a little bit because
of course, I will.
because of our own time restrictions, because we have to listen to everybody tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
I
that
won't
is why
make
I
it
would
long.
request. Yeah,
I'm just saying,
yeah.
if I
So
start
thank you.
writing,
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so thank you so much. So today's homework, you have already got everybody. So you have to do that homework today on yourself and with yourself. So thank you so much to everyone whosoever was here today.